If true, this changes everything for the Dallas Cowboys. A recent report has revealed that one of the best defensive players in the NFL has requested a trade, and the Dallas Cowboys are reportedly among the top candidates for Myles Garrett via trade. We're going to be talking about what this means for the Dallas Cowboys and what they would have to do to make this happen here in this video. Now, before we get into it, we know that 91% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Dallas Cowboys news, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button. Join us here on the channel. We're covering everything Dallas Cowboys, and we got a lot of stuff to cover heading into this offseason with some moves being made by this team that we're all excited to see. But without any further ado, let's get into our first screenshot here. It says the Cowboys are the most popular team in the NFL, have been a top destination for years. This is why when news broke that Myles Garrett has requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns, fans immediately started daydreaming about his arrival. And now we've been looking at this. We've been looking at really everything to do with the Cowboys' moves. Whatever they can do. If they can increase this defense, if they can increase the offense, whatever will work for this team, they have been trying to do it. And so far, we've seen no moves from the Dallas Cowboys. Really, we've just seen some coaching moves, as is for the rest of the NFL. When free agency opens and, everything kind of gets underway, we'll see a lot more. But now that we're seeing these names, as in Cooper Kupp, Myles Garrett, requesting trades from their teams, the Dallas Cowboys immediately have to be an interesting option for them. And also, they have to be an interesting option for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, from the report, they are apparently the top candidate for Myles Garrett. Now, I don't know how true that is, but if it is true, it is huge. Now, the reason I'm not really sure on this is because of the cap space that we have. The Dallas Cowboys will have to make quite a few moves and quite a few pieces of work to make this happen. And of course, you would do anything to really get Myles Garrett. Still, pretty young in the sense of how good some of these NFL defenders are now. He won't be as good as he has been for so long, as will start to regress and everything, but the way that Myles Garrett's game is played, the way that his style of play is built, he'll be good for still a very long time. Now, when it comes down to it, the Dallas Cowboys are currently over the cap. They're negative $22,300,000 over the cap, and that's not a very good thing to do, obviously. Normally you'd like to be above in most senses of the imagination, 9.2 in dead cap, but there are many, many ways the Dallas Cowboys are able to make this work. Now, we know we have some big contracts, CeeDee, Dak, and, one coming to Micah Parsons, who will lower the cap space over the next few seasons, eventually, if extension signed long-term. But right now, there are lots of moves that have to be made to be able to make any move happen. Not just one from Myles Garrett, not just Cooper Kupp, really any other free agent that is bound to come to the Dallas Cowboys. A move will have to be made to be able to acquire them, to be able to fit them in comfortably with making more additions. And when we're looking at another Myles Garrett kind of contract situation, he's not making a little amount. He's making quite a big contract. But the team could free up a lot of cap space in the offseason by restructuring deals to Dak, CeeDee, and signing Micah to a long-term deal. But that is currently a could. Now, if you give to these guys, let's just put it into a little thought here. If you say to Dak, CeeDee, and Micah, well, Micah's obviously going to get a long-term extension. We know that. It's just bound to happen at any point. There's been reports about him being traded. That's not going to happen. But if you go up to Dak and CeeDee, say, hey, we want to restructure your deal. You're still going to be making the same amount of money, but we want to be able to get Myles Garrett in here to help you guys get a Super Bowl. That is going to be a very interesting conversation for those players to kind of listen in, kind of, I don't want to say make them alter their contracts, but really give them an idea, say, hey, if we alter our contracts, we can be a very, very good team. And, they're going to be getting paid the same down the line. They're still going to be making some money, and especially later on in their careers, they're going to be making more money. But looking at this now, Myles Garrett, the way he is on this whole contract situation right now, 2 years, then a UFA, including this upcoming season, one after, then going into a free agent. He will likely come with a long-term deal. That's probably going to be part of the trade for him. Now, of course, the Cowboys will have to, once again, kind of work around this, because if you restructure these deals right now, they're going to be getting paid more for CeeDee and Dak later on. Then you're going to have to go and kind of work that in with the extension for Myles Garrett. So, as you seen there just a minute ago, it said it could. Certainly is a could, but a guy like Myles Garrett, you make that type of deal happen. And the Cowboys thought it's true that their salary cap, or the Cowboys, though it's true their salary cap situation is currently tight, could snap their fingers and create close to $100 million in cap space for 2025. All it would take would be simple contract restructures to the deals of, and now bear with me, because this sounds crazy in theory, but let's talk about it after. Dak, CeeDee, Terrence Steele, Trevon Diggs, and a few others. Extending Micah Parsons would significantly drop his cap hit, as well as the star pass rusher said that he wants a deal done early for the same reason. And Micah has also come out and said he wants this deal done for the same reason. First of all, he wants some money down the line, but also he wants to have some extra assets come in and help this team. We know how loyal Micah is to this team, and the way that his reaction has been to all of these moves, everything that kind of happened, he's shown loyalty and passion to this Dallas Cowboys team, and he wants some help. Not necessarily directly, not necessarily indirectly, but he wants people to give him a hand on this defense, and Micah Parsons would absolutely fit that book. But $100 million, that is a big chunk of money, and that would allow you to, well, obviously get Myles Garrett for a few seasons, but also add more to make this team even deeper than what it could be and what it is right now. And we know we have some ideas in the offseason of what could happen. Brian Schottenheimer is going to try and transfer this team into something that he favors a bit. We're looking at running backs as well. Ashton Genty, that would be a very, very good draft pick. First of all, because he would be making his rookie contract not too much. He'd be making a lot, a very feasible amount to add some more players, but also would complete the run game for what they need. Go out, get another, of the short list of running backs that are in free agency, they're not any stars. So going to get someone who could, not split time necessarily, but maybe a 60-40, 70-30 split with Ashton Genty could be absolutely perfect for this team and allowing them to just, once again, build this team up more than what a lot of people are thinking. Now, as I mentioned, when we do look at Myles Garrett's contract, I'll pull this up on the bigger one here, 25-26 going into these next two seasons, then his UFA. And when we're looking at his overall cap hit, 19.7 this upcoming season, 20.3 the next one. So let's just call it 20 million even if you can do the math. Let's just call it 20. There's going to be some numbers that will have to probably squeeze in at some point, but 20 million of that 100, you got 80 left. A lot of moves can be made with 80 million, especially in one season, though. You may acquire some players for one season. You may acquire some for, a couple of years. Whatever kind of works out for this Cowboys team, I think they like the idea of what's going down with Myles Garrett. Cooper Kupp obviously being another option with, I will say, the shallowness of the wide receiver room in Dallas, yet we still may see some other moves, whether that is by, trade, draft, whatnot, free agency. There's still many other possibilities here, but when we're looking at the defense for the Dallas Cowboys right now, obviously, you see Mike at defensive end, Chauncey Golston at the other side. You could easily put Myles Garrett in one of those, kind of restructure in this 3-4. This is certainly something that, you would alter your team, you would alter the scheme, you would alter your lineup, your depth chart right now to be able to get a Myles Garrett in. You're not putting him on the bench, you're not really putting him out of position. We know how dominant he is at the defensive end, and you would not change that. Even with Micah there, having both of those guys on either side would be one of the best defense alone. You don't need anything else. One of the best defenses alone in the NFL if you're putting something like that in a lineup. And just talking about it right now is making me flustered knowing how dominant that could be. And I do want to see this really, really bad, although I don't want the Cowboys to put everything on the line for this signing. And obviously, if they can get it done, if they can get it done easy, if they can make it work for this season and for long term, do it. But don't put anything out there and try and risk it. He is a bit on the older side, going on 31, but still very dominant. But how long will that last, I think, is the big question. So let me know what you think about these moves here. Obviously, this is an insane one, looking at the Dallas Cowboys potentially acquiring Myles Garrett. We know there's going to be a lot of teams out there that are going to be looking for him, but I do think it's something that the Cowboys need to at least consider. And if Brian Schottenheimer wants to make a move, Jerry Jones wants to, kind of make that mark, say, hey, this is the beginning of the offseason. Let's do it. I'm all for it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, but that's all I got in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. And remember, all your Dallas Cowboys news right here. But like I said, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.